Peter's schooling ended when he was 10. As a child, he enjoyed playing games. Peter learned to speak Dutch fluently. He became Tsar at age 10. The new ruler of Russia wanted a strong, educated army and navy. He had a large desire to expand Russia. He persevered to make Russia modern, resembling Europe. He also shared rule of Russia with his half-brother Ivan V at the start of his reign. He went to Europe for a tour in 1697. He was stunned with the new technology of Western Europe. He then wanted to make Russia more like Europe. A large part of Peter's reign was spent involved in the Great Northern War. After winning the war with Sweden, Russia was called an empire, and Peter the Great was named the emperor and also gained access to the Baltic Sea and the Baltic trade. During the Great Northern War, Peter built a new capital, St. Petersburg, in the early 1700s. St. Petersburg was like a European city with elegant places, public squares, and canals. He was founded on May 16, 1703. It was the capital of Russia for more than 200 years. It is Russia's second largest city.
In the late 1600s, Russia was a vast, remote land. Compared to Western Europe, it was underdeveloped. Its seaports froze in winter. It had little trade, and its military was weak. Peter the Great became leader. In 40 years, he transformed Russia into a powerful nation. Peter began his transformation by seeing Western technology for himself. Peter studied navigation and shipbuilding, as well as architecture and military science. He learned how Western European countries had used new technologies and trade to gain power and wealth. When he returned home, Peter began a policy of Western civilization. His goal was to adopt in Western European ways and ideas. He built new academics for studying science and engineering, and revised the Russian alphabet, making it easier to understand and use. He ordered Russians to wear Western-style clothes. He defied centuries of religious tradition and ordered men to shave their beards as a symbolic act of breaking Russia's ties with the past. Men who wanted to keep their beards needed to pay a beard tax. His next step was to gain warm water ports that would allow Russia a greater access to the West. To accomplish this, Peter went to war. Since becoming Tsar, Peter had greatly strengthened Russia's army, which he now used in a hard-fought war in Sweden, and his troops won what he needed: land along the Baltic Sea. There, Peter set out to build a new capital city that would signify Russia's progress and power, the city of St. Petersburg. The land was wet and soggy and difficult to build on, but Peter took charge of the project himself. Using techniques he learned in Western Europe to overcome the obstacles, all the materials and specialists needed to build the city had to be brought in from outside. The entire building process was extremely difficult, but Peter persisted, and so the city began to take shape, and beautiful buildings, designed by architects Peter had brought from Italy, soon became rising out of the swamp. Once construction was complete, the Tsar rerouted most of the routes of trade into the new capital. St. Petersburg became a center of Russia's culture and commerce and government. Between 1689 and 1725, Peter brought great change to Russia. He expanded Russia's borders. He built a new capital city and opened Russia to greater contact and trade with the West.
I have conquered an empire. but I have not been able to conquer myself. Peter the Great.